just basketball. There are few athletes across all sports that are more athletic than LeBron James. Sure, there are those who are faster, those who are stronger, and those who can jump higher. But few of them blend it all together like him, along with the stamina that's held up into his 18th year in the league. So how does he do it? Well, today you'll find out, because we're talking about LeBron James's insane Hercules diet and workout. Before we get started today, we'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe below, so we can keep expanding this channel and bring you more content like this. Without further ado, a meal fit for a king. Over the past couple of seasons, half the commentary we hear about LeBron is analysts and players alike just bewildered that he has maintained his unreal athleticism past most people's primes. I mean, aside from Jordan, LeBron may be the only player to have 3 different primes, the last of which stretching out over the latter half of his career. And while LeBron has been a freakish athlete for most of his whole life, it wasn't always because of the resources available to him. As many already know, LeBron grew up in a predominantly poor neighborhood in Akron to a single mother. His mother, Gloria, who had him when she was just 16, had to scrap for every dollar she could to keep her child alive. Often, this meant LeBron went without, meaning not only healthy food, but food in general could be scarce to come by. But when Gloria made the difficult decision to let her son live with the high school football coach, LeBron was turned onto basketball and football, and regardless of his lack of physical training, he was born with a gifted level of athleticism that allowed him to take off from the start. So in spite of all his struggles as a kid, by the time LeBron was entering the NBA, he somehow already had an NBA-ready physical profile at 240 pounds. And once he was given access to the best dietitians and trainers in the league, his athletic abilities only grew. Someone who is 250 pounds and can fly up the court faster than 9 other guys has to have an incredibly specific diet to treat their body right. And that's exactly what LeBron does. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. When manifesting the best physical profile for yourself that you can, routine is the name of the game. LeBron eats 6 smaller meals every day, usually about 2.5 hours to 3 hours apart. A typical day with LeBron starts off with a breakfast consisting of an egg sandwich with a 100% whole grain muffin, avocado and salsa, and a smoothie made with fresh or frozen fruit and a low-fat Greek yogurt. Then for a snack between breakfast and lunch, he has a protein shake, leading him into a lunch of a spinach salad with veggies, grilled chicken, and with a light dressing. And then LeBron has stated his love for fruit, so he always throws in a side of sliced berries, apples, mandarin oranges, or something like that. Moving into the afternoon, it's even more fruit or vitamins. Then comes dinner. LeBron finds a way to make eating healthy next level by having both a nutrient-rich and upscale-sounding dinner of grilled salmon with crushed pistachio topping, steamed vegetables, and quinoa, seasoned with all the goods. Sounds like enough for dinner, right? Well, unless you're burning calories like an NBA player, you'll probably not need the late-night veggie omelet with a side of turkey bacon LeBron will eat later in the night. All of this is pretty routine for LeBron, and while there's variation in it sometimes, this is what a typical day of food looks like for him. Good thing he's got that personal chef money. But just as it goes with most rigid diet routines, there's always cheat days. And LeBron's cheat days usually manifest themselves in the form of pizza and wine. James doesn't hide his love for wine and apparently drinks wine pretty much every day. According to his former teammate, Kevin Love, LeBron has a supercomputer in his brain when it comes to his taste in wine. But even LeBron's choice of cheat drink isn't really bad for you. In fact, most doctors agree that consumed in moderation, red wine has some health benefits, like lowering your risk of heart attack and increasing your levels of good HDL cholesterol. As far as pizza is concerned, James is all in. He even is an investor in the Blaze Pizza franchise. A few years ago, he shared his order at Blaze Pizza, which had a ridiculous 16 toppings on it, ranging from turkey meatballs to banana peppers, olives, basil, and way more that gets lost in the mix. Oh yeah, and who can forget Taco Tuesday? But there was a point in time where LeBron had to switch up his diet, eliminating all those cheat day items for a while in order to drastically change his intake to regain his physical edge. Back during the 2013-14 season, it was reported that LeBron was in the worst shape of his career. The Heat were just coming off their championship run, and LeBron was off to a slow start to the season by his standards. You wouldn't know he was out of shape by looking at him, but it must have been true, because he would soon go on an insanely strict diet to slim down. The diet he was going on drastically reduced his carb intake, while for 67 straight days, he also completely avoided sugar and dairy, eating only meat, fish, veggies, and fruit for those 3 months plus. Even when he was on vacation in Greece, The resort made him a dessert dedicated to him, and he refused to eat it. It takes a lot of discipline to make a strict diet even stricter, but it didn't go unnoticed. In an Instagram picture in 2014, LeBron was visibly skinnier, especially in his face. Spectators across the league wondered if his dramatic weight loss was going to affect how dominant he was driving to the basket. And well, we all know it didn't stop him one bit. LeBron even made fun of his weight loss in a later Instagram post, photoshopping his head on a cross-country runner. But dieting is only half the battle. Getting your way to 250 pounds of pure muscle comes from just as strict of a workout routine. LeBron's regimen consists of 4 workouts, each using supersets, which are used to minimize rest periods, which allows him to gain strength and maintain his otherworldly endurance that has allowed him to stay dominant for so long. Getting specific, LeBron's workout routine fluctuates between 5 to 7 days and spans a lot of different disciplines, like spin, Pilates, weightlifting, and more. He's so dedicated to his workouts that he often wakes up at 5 in the morning to exercise, even when he is supposed to be resting. This is where minimizing his sugar connects with his workouts, as reducing his glucose intake allows him to recover faster from his high-intensity routines. So let's get into the schedule. Monday is all about chest, triceps, and shoulders. Typically, this means he's doing sets of incline bench press, seated overhead press, seated overhead tricep extension, and several push-up variants. Then, he seems to always interval a bit of cardio and yoga on days between weightlifting. So Tuesday is 30 to 60-minute sessions of plyometric or spin along with yoga. Then on Wednesday, it's on to the back and arms, barbell deadlifts, standing bicep curls, barbell bent over rows, chin-ups, and wide grip pull-ups. This day is clearly what got LeBron the wide shoulders that he lowers into the defender's chest, bouncing them back when he goes to the basket. Thursday is back to the plyometrics and yoga, and then you can't forget about leg day, which usually lands at the end of the week. Friday usually consists of back squats, leg press, seated calf raise, jumping lunges, box jumps, and weighted jumps, the results of which are on about 1 million different highlight reels. Saturday is back to yoga and plyometrics, and the Sunday is typically a rest day for LeBron. However, he still typically exercises throughout the day, and if it's game day, then he's usually putting in a hefty 35 minutes of work. While LeBron mixes the workouts like most people do, he puts a high emphasis on these high-intensity workouts which minimize rest periods. These have to be incredibly grueling, but his commitment to them have become routine throughout his whole career. And while we mentioned those high-interval workouts, you can't forget about all the warm-up exercise he does. 30-minute jogs on the treadmill, Swiss ball ab rollouts, and copious amounts of stretching to make sure he doesn't tear anything. While these workouts and strict diet routines seem over the top for the average Joe, LeBron's commitment to his physical health is what allows him to still be in the running for MVP in his 18th year in the league. If we all are able to take a slice of that kind of dedication and put it toward our own craft, then we too can be successful for a long time. What do you think about LeBron's workout routine? Let us know in the comments below.